I was laying in bed the other night, thinking what I could possibly say to you all during a time when national morale seems so low it makes me wonder where the bottom is. I wondered what I could possibly say to uplift and inspire you when our country is facing the twin pandemics of COVID-19 and systemic racism, where people are losing their loved ones on top of losing their jobs, homes, and access to healthcare, where the pervasiveness of systemic racism rears its ugly head in the daily lives of Black people, Indigenous people, and people of color in so many horrible ways. And then, on top of all the issues our nation is facing, our global environment is in rapid decline, promising to exacerbate the racial and socioeconomic inequities that plague our communities. I asked myself, where is the good in the world right now? Where is that silver lining? And then it hit me. Facing the front of every national disaster are Gen Zers. At our age, we should be focusing on school, our social lives, and the opportunities the future holds. Yet we have inherited the problems of our nation prematurely. And despite the adversity bequeathed upon us, we have decided to fight back with determination to create a more equitable and just society. You might be thinking, okay, Elena, where's the inspiration in your message? So far, you've talked about racism, a viral pandemic, and climate change, and the teens and 20-year-olds who are dedicating their youth to tackling these big issues. That's pretty depressing. But here's the inspiration. It's because of these teens and 20-year-olds, these conversations are being pushed into our daily lives and forcing us to act. It is because instead of focusing on the normal things teen and 20-year-olds should be occupied with, we are leading the conversation on everything from climate change, gun violence prevention, voter suppression, and racial equity. When older generations have failed to meet our needs, young leaders have emerged to step up to the plate to protect the citizens of our nation, rocking the boat of complacency and never needing permission to lead. However, these Gen Z advocates are not just the ones with national news coverage. They're starting these conversations in our community and changing it for the better. It's the Youth Climate Action Team reminding older generations that we must act to halt the looming danger of climate change for the sake of our promising futures. It was the teens and 20-year-olds leading the peaceful protests on Capitol Square and unifying our community against police violence after the tragic death of George Floyd. It's the members of the Badgers Vote Coalition that are ensuring young people at UW-Madison are registered to vote and empowered to elect officials who prioritize the issues we care about. It was the Freedom Youth Squad that tirelessly advocated for the successful removal of police officers in Madison schools. At 20 years old, I find myself in an interesting dichotomy between being an elected official and being a part of the grassroots activism led by people my age, particularly advocating for racial equity. Due to the recent resolutions produced by many of you, from Chair Eicher and Representative Stubbs' criminal justice reform plan to Supervisor Doyle's resolution to halt the construction of the Dane County Jail, it gives me hope that you are listening. These are all great efforts to mitigate the systemic racism that permeates the lives of BIPOC in our community. It is actions like these that will benefit my generation and generations to come, and I urge you all to support these efforts. Our fight here is far from being done. We as the county board must ensure that we are amplifying the voices of and supporting the advocacy and activism of the young people in our community. We cannot change the past, but we can change the future. I hope that together we will reject the status quo and fight for the well-being of current and future generations. To close, I will quote the greatness of the late Representative John Lewis. If not us, then who? If not now, then when? Thank you.